Big tax relief, of course. The Finance Ministry has eased investment limits for PROIs as well, and FPIs, of course. We spoke about FPIs, but persons resident outside India or PROIs, the limit has been eased to attract stable long-term foreign capital flows. Individual PROI limit for investments has been hiked from 5% to 10%, and overall investment limits for PROI has been hiked to 24% from 10%. Prakash here with the details.
Look, there are two notifications which has been issued by the government of India today. The one is, of course, in the form of ordinance, wherein it has been decided to provide some sort of tax exemption to FPIs and, of course, their investment in government securities, wherein the government has issued an ordinance to provide some sort of relaxation. Therefore, it has been decided to provide tax exemption on interest on government securities as well as capital gains arising from the sale, exchange, or transfer of such securities, as well as there will be no withholding tax on investment in government securities. Benefits granted to foreign, of course, foreign investors defined under the relevant provisions of the Income Tax Act, whereas along with that, banks for international settlements as defined as the institution established in 1930 and headquartered in Basel, Switzerland. These changes are, of course, effective from 1st April 2026. You are aware of the fact that the Indian cabinet in its last meeting had taken this decision to provide some sort of relief to FIIs, FPIs amid geopolitical uncertainties and in order to support rupee. In addition to that, there is a separate notification which has been issued by the Finance Ministry with regard to provide some sort of in order to increase in investment limit when it comes to PRIOs. In fact, you are aware of the fact that the Finance Minister in the Union budget for financial year 2026-27 has announced that there will be permission which will be granted through for PRIOs to invest in equity instruments listed Indian companies through the portfolio investment scheme, wherein it has been decided that the investment limit will be increased for an individual PRIOs under this scheme from 5% to 10% in any company with an overall investment limit for all individuals PROIs to 24% from the current 10%. So this announcement had already been made. In fact, the Finance Minister, while presenting Union budget for financial year 2027, had made such announcements. Now, a certain notification has been issued by the Finance Ministry, wherein it has been decided to provide some sort of liberalization of investment by individual persons resident outside India under the Foreign Exchange Management Rules 2019. So these two notification has been issued by the Finance Ministry in order to provide some sort of relief to FIIs, FPIs, and of course PROIs. So these are key developments coming through, and that's an important development at this point in time.
Absolutely,
amid
Prakash.
Geopolitical uncertainties. Back to you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for that. Yes, the biggest development and the biggest bazooka rather coming in from the RBI, this complete tax relief for FPIs on Indian bonds and their investments over there. Policy rate remains unchanged, stance remains neutral, and with that, we'll sum up our coverage of the RBI and MPC policy. Thanks so much for tuning in.